Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy, P Farm, thinking right out here in my lab. I'm in 3 books. I got a nice lesson for you, but it's going to take all 3 of my books to get it across to you, I think. So I'm going to keep them handy, but this is going to be fun. I got my teacher hat on, so get comfortable. You're about to learn something. Let's rock. Right? Isms. 25 rules to live by. Excuse me. Storytelling. Story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I gave you life lessons. You tune in to receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. I'm just trying to give you some information that you can use to better yourself. That's all I got for you. And right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to reach the level of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. So everything I give you is geared for you as a right thinker. Your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I ask the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through, because that's what I do. If you don't, it's rhetorical. If you don't have to answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. Let's rock. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not run the White House and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Sorry about that. I had to put that in there. Okay? Avoid them. I do. Try it. A person who knows not. No, excuse me. A person who knows and knows not that they know you spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. Why? I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to my yacht, be true. Right thing, we're going to talk about, I got the book right here. The Paute Neteru, a.k.a. the family tree of the Neterian, we call God and goddesses. But this is the small version here, but this is the big version from my book, another book I got here, The Tree of Life. This book here. Boy, this book here, this is a powerful book. If you want to better yourself and learn things the right way, this is the book. You see all the stuff in there? It's 3 different philosophies going on. You see the highlighted yellow part up top? That's Anuian. You got one side over here is Patan, other side is Amun. Hence, Amun Ra Patan. Okay? That's the concept of God. That's why my hat represents all 3 of those guys, the Trinity. And the pyramid is the best structure you can make. The strongest structure known to man. I got this. I got this. And I'm really operating from this. So again, by any means necessary. And this is a smaller version of what I just showed you. Okay? And this is what we're going to break down. Okay? The 3 different philosophies, you see A, B, and C, right there, and break them down for you. And when you learning this from the beginning, this is all elementary information. This is what you start out with. I did this a long time ago, but when you get, this is just the early stage. We're way past that. If you don't understand this, you need to go over 3,000 lessons. You can go check them out. But this is a good one for you. Let's go with the branches of the Neterian Theologies and the interaction of the gods. They wasn't separate. They all worked as one. That's the concept. So here we go. Let's rock. In the center, I just showed you the slide above. You can see where the Ra tradition, that's called the Anuian theology or tradition. A, which is Patan theology or the tradition, is identified by B, and the Amun theology or the tradition identified by C. Excuse me, A, B, and C. This slide illustrates, that the Anuian theology, which they claim the original, gave rise to the divinities in what? Both of the branches, which is the Wasatian, we know it as Thebes, and Menifer, we know that Menphite, they call it Menifer, okay? Menphite theologies. And one branch had Ra, other branch had Amun, other branch had Ptah, okay? Thus, the divinities from the Ptah theology arise from the what? The Anuian theology, and then the divinities from the Amun theology also emerged from the Anuian theology, and the Assyrian tradition. What's all these traditions? Okay, what's this? Different concepts, but the same. And another branch which also emerged from the Anuian. Anu means the first time, the first place. Okay, so everything stems from there. And what's this? When I mean everything, I'm gonna get to y'all repping up to date people too. But what's this? Theology. The Assyrian tradition, we know, is based on a divinity we know: Asar, Aset, and Haru. All right? Father, mother, and son. What's this? It is from this tradition that the Christian myth developed. And there, swear to God it didn't. I'm not here to argue that point. I ain't got nothing but just information. You can do with it what you want. But that's the concept. And I told y'all Christians, y'all Christ, he was the last one. He wasn't the first. And he wasn't the only one. Moving on. I'll leave it there. But the slide here illustrates that, watch this. Though there are many gods, and again, and goddesses in the Neterian theology, they call it Neteru. Neter means one. Neteru means more than one. We know it ain't but one Neter. Nebertra, we call him, we know that. But he have offspring, Amun, Ra, Ptah. Okay? The hidden, seen, and the manifest. It's all mental, it's all esoteric and symbolical, but it's all referring to you. The gods are aspects of your character. Moving on. That's elementary. I ain't got time for that. But the Neteru, meaning more than one. Hello? If we know it's more than one gods other than the one, we got that concept. They worship more than one God. Again. But they all emanate from what? The one single supreme being. We know that. We know that. The group of gods, what's this? And goddesses, we call it the Paut, P-A-U-T, meaning group of gods and goddesses, meaning male and female, opposites, okay? Not always male and female, but always opposites. Or we call it Pautate, meaning what? The group of god and goddesses. All the gods and goddesses all emanate from what? The one single God. So we keep telling you that. We keep emphasizing that. Watch this. Now, so if anyone refers to ancient Egyptian or African religion as polytheistic, what that mean? That is an incorrect assessment. Again, wrong. Why? We know what we're talking about. Such persons either did not study, and there's a lot of that going on, our ancient African religion concepts. Obviously they didn't. Why? You would know. You would know. Moving on. It may be what? That they are maybe just ignorant or did not care to study, to learn, or to understand our philosophy and just labeled it, yeah, they just worship a bunch of gods without understanding. Again, there's a lot of that going on too. But what's this? But so if they understood this concept, then they would have to what? Give our ancient Egyptian African religion is what? Due respect with understanding and what it really represents. Why? We were doing great things when we found that philosophy. That's why. Proven. Ain't been done since. Moving on. But with respect, if they did that to what? To those in other religions who propagate this erroneous idea of polytheism. They just follow suit. Yeah. What's this? But if their acknowledgement of this truth and the fact would require them that what? That they had to admit that they are not the only ones with the so-called elevated monotheistic notion or the advanced conception of religions. Really? Y'all claim Moses, monotheistic. Y'all got him from Akhenaten. He took away all the gods supposed to be made in one, Atum. We know that too. Again, Ain't nothing new under that thing we call the sun. But again, following hearsay and not knowing for yourself, that's the biggest mistake that we got in religion. Just want you to believe what they tell you. Do your own homework. That's what I did. I went to the source, like my man Frank Lucas. I went to Northeast Corner. I got what I was looking for. Answers to questions that I had for myself. I don't give a damn what you think about anything else. Could kill less. Why? I'm comfortable with what I got. It would mean what? If they gave us our prop, it would mean what? That someone else is as civilized as they are. They keep making Africans, what? Savages, uncivilized. We started civilization. Now that we can get information, okay, that lie can't continue no more. Why? We know the truth. A lie is only good until the truth come around. Moving on. Belief is only good until what? Knowledge steps in. Gnosis. How you doing? I'm knowledge. Oh, I'm leaving. Why? I was belief. They got to go. Like dark. When light come in, dark got to go. And maybe even more advanced than themselves. Again, they don't want to acknowledge that the app. We had universities. We had civilization running wild way before that European, Greek, or Roman even came into the picture. Please understand that. And that's what they don't want you to know. Why? They messed everything up. If they told you that, then you'd be obvious that who they are. Okay? This realization is what is kind of hard for who? For degraded, egoistic personality. But I keep saying they. The white man. Okay? Simple as that. The white man. Stop getting dancing around. The white man. Again. We was fine until he came into the picture, all right, with his what? His religion, his concept, his belief system. Don't need it, don't care for it. We never did, and never were. The Asians who the British came to go, they refused to follow their nonsense. So, okay, as a people, some people just say, no, we ain't doing that. Moving on. But watch this. Now, if they did that, they too egotistical in their personality to accept the fact. So what? So their reaction is often to what? Denigrate it, disparage it, marginalize it, or as considered ridiculous. They ridicule anything that's contrary to what? Their own belief system. Again, if you ain't a Christian, you're wrong. What the heck? If you ain't a Muslim, says who? Oh, y'all, come on, man. That's where the problem lies. But watch this. When anything that goes against their belief system, ideas and concepts, so that what? Now they may continue to feel good about themselves. That's all selfish. That's all ego. That's all that materialistic white man. He ain't spiritual worth a damn. Watch this. They need, like he telling you who I said they, okay? They need that form of what? Egoistic notion, what? Of superiority, white privilege, in order to what? To compensate for what? Their low self-esteem and their low culture of human development that is based on what? Material accomplishment. This civilization we live in now, we live in a capitalistic society. Dog eat dog. Got to get that money, whatever means necessary. That means you're going to rob, steal, cheat, or kill to get that money. And money ain't God. You do all that for money, won't do a damn thing for God. That's sad. Moving on. So it is fitting that this Western religion, it should be what? Based on, ready for this? Histocracy. Why? Because of the myth. They don't care about the myth of the Western religions. Why? That is a reflection of their material. Myths is based on spiritual and conduct, codes and ethics and stuff good for the personality of your character. This is a reflection of their materialistic nature of those societies. In other words, those type of religions are what? Materialistic and consequently idolatrous. Why? Yeah, contrary to their own belief, Western religions practice idolatry because they tend to what? Humanize the divine into one image. God ain't man. God said, I'm the only God. That's humanizing God. I hate that concept. That's what they tell you right there. Y'all the adulterers. Watch this. Because y'all the ones who perpetrate the culture with what? With one sacred scripture, etc. The Bible is God's word. You go by the Bible, you're wrong. Again, this acting act of what? Confining God, humanizing into what? A materialistic concept. Send me money and God will bless you. Are you kidding me? And y'all do that. Y'all do that. Y'all just give money away. If I ask you for a penny, which I give for a few, you wouldn't even do that for me. But if I start asking for hundreds of dollars, you go out your way to make sure I get that money, thinking you're going to get something from it. I tell you, I'm just giving it away. Yeah, I ain't got no use for that. Oh, if it's useful, he wouldn't be giving it away. He got to be something. It must not be worth nothing. See? The value of things is different for those, again. But if you in a materialistic world, you are an adulterer. Why? Further, watch this. These religious cultures, they support the worship of what? Objects. Not as expressions of the divine. When I rock the eye, it's symbolical of what? God seeing me, who I am, my heart, my intentions, my deeds, and what I'm doing on up and up. That's the difference, okay? It's symbolical. I ain't walking around thinking God is a damn eye. Again, y'all know cross, okay? Again, symbolism. Recognize other people's other than your own. Y'all got symbolism too. Same thing. But you watch this. And what? These are objects, not expressions of the divine. As in Africa, here we go. And in Eastern religions, this is why we seem to be more understanding of God than y'all is. But as worthy objects that can bring what? Happiness. Even to the point where y'all get so caught up in it, killing to preserve it or to what? Acquire it. You can't kill, cheat God and get God. No. Watch this. In African religion, objects and images are what? We know they're not absolutes. However, they are what? Infused with divinity. Why? Since divinity is what? Everywhere and in all things. Conceptually, watch this. Oh, we getting to the good part. Now I'm teaching. Let's go. Pay attention. This one starts to get good. I see the clock. They are not viewed as the God, but rather the objects are as lesser manifestation that can be what? Used. The information, the knowledge and philosophy you can practice, and you can gain entry into what they call the transcendental plane of what? Consciousness. Is all mental. This view is sometimes referred to as anism. Watch this. And what I have just explained is the correct philosophy. Again, philosophy that can be practiced and manifest of the animistic practice, which is what? In a materialistic type of societies where money, power, image, titles, etc., those become the gods. Sound familiar? And goddesses, that money, that status, that position that puts you, you got money. See where we're going with this? And we see it every day. What's this? And that people, what? Worship, and therefore they are leading what? Themselves. Because of that, they lead themselves down that road of what? Future pain, frustration, and disappointment. Why? Because they didn't get what they thought they were going to get. They made a deal with the devil thinking they're going to get something. It never works out. Make the deal with God like I told you, and he never fails. Your choice. I made mine a long time ago. That was a bad choice. Bad choice. Bad choice. Why do you think I didn't give it to my son? Now, good choice. Nobody wants to be bothered. See the difference? And I can live with that. I'm good. I ain't going there. But watch this. But those objects that you think in the world will never bring you abiding peace. I keep explaining this lesson to you as they are what? Relevant, time limited, okay? They're passing, they're temporary. They're not forever. Again, objects of the world means absolutely nothing at what? When you look at the real thing of life. Okay, simple as that. But we caught up in that. Ourselves as individuals. When you go to that for yourself, now you'll see things a little different. That's all. Your values will be put a little different. That's all. Everybody's value in what they like. Simple to them. You are what you believe you are. Simple. But when you're worshiping such objects, it's actually a very degrading form of human culture to worship a damn object without understanding the interpretation. We give you rituals, we give you that for a reason, so that you don't get caught up in the damn object. Understand the story, practice it, become the story, and understand it. That's what it's for. And therefore, All Western civilization cannot be considered advanced. Oh, we read y'all ain't did nothing. Okay, misunderstood, misinterpreted, and you've been wrong ever since and refused to admit it. So you're gonna continue to what? Be wrong. Moving on. Rather, it is devotion, what? Devolution. Y'all didn't evolve, y'all devolve. You're going the wrong way. I've been telling you that for a while. From what? The heights of our ancient African ancestral culture and philosophy that they lived by for thousands of years in harmony as a people. God damn it. Sorry about starting to get impressed. All right, now let's get to the teaching part. Look, it's 20 minutes. I'm just getting to the good stuff. All right, let's go. This Neterian, right thing of philosophy, our ancient African notion of religion is what is actually superior to all concepts of religion because it was this. It's actually divinizing what? The entire creation. Here we go, right here. All of these gods and goddesses that you're talking about, they got so many gods and gods. No, they all symbolic and they have a purpose. And the gods of the Neterian theology, they represent the elements. I tell you, the creation story starts with what? Let there be what? Okay, that's when it started. When before that we was in the noon, darkness, potential, everything, whatever it could be, would be, but it was chaotic. So everything was there. Apophis, that's his home. When Rod decided, okay, he wanted something different, started changing. So that's been the ongoing light and dark, been the ongoing battle, cycle of life. But watch this. The first thing he put in place, that means he's conscious. So God is not physical, he's conscious. Okay, that's why this. Why? He makes sure we had the planet set up, elements, creation. Earth, know who Earth is? Earth is Gad. Y'all now call Earth Mother Earth. Okay, no, Mother Nature. Okay, a little different. But we see it at Gaia, I hear on the news, like, yeah. I don't complain and argue. If you get the understanding, I don't care how you present it, what you call it. Just respect and understand it. I ain't got a problem with it. Okay, so Earth is Gad. Gab is the big man with the penis because he was embraced with what? Heaven, Nuke, the sky above, the starry deck lady who swallows up Ra and gives birth to him every morning. All kinds of different stories. There's beautiful stories and concepts. That's all they are. Good stories. Good. That's all we've been. Fairy tales. Same thing. Myth. Same thing. Excuse me. I get excited. But watch this. This is so easy. The sky is the heaven, we call it, is Nuke. That's Gab's other half. They was in love, so they were having sexual intercourse. God told Shu, break that up. Shu took Nuke, raised up to heaven, stood on Gad, kept him down here. He caught him in mid-stroke, so he was still like that. That's what y'all call now monuments, okay? Obelisks, okay? The monument is to Gab's penis. How about that? They call Osiris penis. Another story to justify that, but the real one is Gab, okay? He's earth, and he had a heart on for what? Heaven. And since they broke the vow with God, they, for the rest of their life, she'll look down, he'll look up, but they'll never consummate again. Moving on. Good story. But it's all conceptualized in inject a meaning, a philosophy, a concept that you can clearly understand. And we got water, which is tough, Nuke, and air, which is Shu. From the sun, we needed air to breathe. We need water to nurture Gab. Okay, so you got all these things that's nature that we presented, and the sixth element is the spirit that he put into what man, y'all call it Adam, whatever. We had the concept a long time before that even come into concept, right? But again, with this kind of notion, now, if you understand the concept, watch this. You cannot take a step outside of what? Creation, outside of God, divinity. This is his realm. The circle is God's realm. Okay, he encompasses everything. Hello? And because it's connected both ends, you don't know where it began or where it ends. That's the concept of God. Okay, that dot in the circle is you. You inside God. God inside you. You got to figure that out. And where you stand with that is your choice. That's my yacht. I am walking on Gad, the earth. Okay? And guess what? I'm breathing Shu. Thank you, Shu. Okay? These is all things that you can physically know God to be. Why? You know, you didn't create air. And I look up, I see who? Nope, that's the sky. And where is divinity? Not present. God is in all these things. This is all his creation. Hello? their entire creation is the temple, this whole universe, then what? What is not readily visible is we call Sheetalk. Why? That means the hidden divine self. Where is he hidden? Inside you, inside your heart. Moving on, they knew that thousands of years ago. But watch this. What we see here is called best, B-E-S. Best means the outer image of God, which is nature, universe. That's God's clothing, okay? We cannot see the hidden. Why? Because the hidden divinity is the transcendental, and we cannot see that with what? Our mortal eyes. These can only see outward. The third eye sees. Yes, it sustains that which is visible. We see that. That's for nature, okay? And this time and space, which is we think is reality, but it's not. Okay, we just here for a reason. Earth in the physical form with spiritual beings come here to have a human experience. This is the testing ground. Until you get it right, like in school, until you pass this course of life, you will keep coming back and back. We call it reincarnation. Y'all call it repeat, whatever, but it's all the same concept. And what is this? Now, this is the same philosophy, all it is, that occurs throughout the African religion generally. Everybody had a God, everybody had their concepts, and everybody had what? To do the same thing to get their blessings, to get to go to the next level. This is what Western scholars all call what? Lesser beings. Watch this. The lesser beings of African religions are what they call the lower gods and goddesses. The netherworld. We know that. Okay? But these lesser beings are to be appropriated, watch this, so they can what? Lead you, the aspirant, teaching you, understanding, or the initiate, to what? To understand the higher supreme being who is the source of all. Again, we had the concept, everything comes from the one. Okay, now, in Western culture, you do not have lesser beings. No, or God and goddesses per se. No. Y'all are supposed to revere God or y'all Jesus directly. Okay. But you cannot be as good as Jesus. The whole purpose of Christians is to be like Christ. I'm using y'all, but I'm not going to tell you my side, but this is what y'all profess. I'm trying to figure out how could you not be as good as him when he tell you you can do more things better than me. So I can't be better than Jesus. That's the mindset. Again, and guess what? If you believe that, you won't. But if you believe you could, guess what? You would. There is really no one who can be as perfect as Christians would like to achieve communion with Jesus. I gotta say something right there. I don't give a damn about Jesus. Not disrespect, no. Why? I am Jesus. He like me. We trying to get to the Father. He ain't my Father. He ain't my middleman. I don't need him. Y'all just, no, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Philosophically, conceptually, I'm just explaining to you. I got a direct connection to God, just like he did. Oh, you can't believe you're bad. No, I'm giving you my philosophy, my perspective. You got yours. I ain't denouncing you. I'm just letting you know about mine. That's all. And it's different than yours. That don't make me wrong. Moving on. But you believe you're right. I ain't got a problem with what you believe. You free to believe what you want. All right? I don't believe you're wrong. Okay? I'll leave it there. But watch this. And because y'all want to achieve communion with Jesus instead of God, consequently, in your life, everything is a guilt trip. Trying to live up to, trying to be it. But as a Christian, seemingly, everything you do is wrong. That ain't my philosophy, that's yours. Everything you do is upsetting. Everything you do is a problem. From the beginning, you behind the 8 ball. Thus, the concept, again, of being born in sin. Okay, I don't care. This lesson, I got a few more stuff to go. Could care less about the clock right now. I'm about to get this in. I'm going to ride this horse to the end. So consequently, because y'all believe is in, you're born in sin. So consequently, Christians have to be what? Seeking forgiveness when? All the time. In this way, one cannot have a full communion with the divine, with God, if you're worried about getting to Jesus. and discovering your true purity of what? Your heart that brings you virtue and how righteous living. You can do that. That's what he did. He told you that. And you will know just what he was saying now. Oh, he spoke in parables. No, he just spoke something y'all didn't understand. There's a lot of that going on too. My man said 50 years later, 50 years from now, they'll respect right thinking. I ain't got that much time left. There is always, watch this, there is always that separation right there. Y'all did that. Y'all did that. That what? Beholding nature. That inferiority complex that never seems to go away. Y'all stuck. Y'all lost. Y'all ain't ever going to get the right. Y'all going the wrong way. You ain't never going to get your destination going the wrong way. But Western religions do have what? Intermediaries. Y'all got what y'all call, okay, y'all call them saints and angels. We call them God and goddesses. What's the difference? Philosophically, none. But again, I respect, I ain't got a problem with that at all. I do it work. That's my next thing. Do it work. Watch this. Y'all got saints and angels, which are essentially the same as God and goddesses. Thank you. Even though they are not referred to in the same way, that's okay. That's understandable. It is therefore hypocritical for y'all proponents of Western religions to look down on what? Non-Western religions when they're doing the same thing. Just look different. That's all. And if you respect what they do, the difference won't make a difference. That shouldn't be the difference. Should be respected and understood, and that way it's no longer a difference or a problem. So let me wrap this up. So in the Commission system, everything is divine. Okay? You understand everything is spiritual energy. God is what? Energy's frequency and vibration. But the energy, that's God, spirit. A spiritual cosmic force right there that you are living in and working through and what? Trying to master. Bam! I took all that. When you get there, you have to do that. Watch this. In mastering these forces, Luke, use the force. What's the force? The knowledge of self. Then you transcend what? The influence in your life. You control your destiny, so to speak. So therefore, you are not innately controlled by nature. What? You are potentially the master of it. That's who Haru represents. He mastered himself and all the beasts of the land. That's what God's son's supposed to do. Harness everything. Why? You belong to him. The Father is your father. You are his son. We all are his children. But the system of divinities are easily entry what? Into what? Spirituality, understanding them. A lot of people just see them as God. No, I break them down. I know what they are. And because we could start with a turtle God. On the turtle's back, it gives you 28 days of cycle, 13 days of the month, and 28 days menstrual cycle, moon cycle. According to the Native Americans, that's their God. And you can start with that, but we use what? The river God we call Hapi, okay, for the Nile Valley. Same thing, different philosophy, but the same thing. It's okay. And what? Do it work. For the Native Americans, like a charm. For the Egyptians, like a charm. Simple. Not so much for the Christians. Why? They got it wrong. Moving on. So, watch this. And then that leads us to what? His relative, and ultimately to what? The supreme being. And they say him or herself. It's male and female, so they know, no, stop playing it. When you're doing this, balance. One can't handle one otherwise. You start offset the balance. There ain't no balance. One no better than the other. Equal. That's what we taught. That's the philosophy. You can't change that. And men are like, nope. Nature takes care of that. Wrap it up. Woo, Lord. Furthermore, here's the best part right here. The divinities that represent principles in nature and in our personalities, aspects of our character that we need to take control of, aka master, and their preparation, the perpetuation removes what? This practice removes egoism and ignorance. The two enemies that destroys you, being ignorant and running every ego. Them two together, you're going to have problems. And making it easier when you destroy them two in your character, make it easier for you, the aspirant right thinker, to now grasp and therefore understand and have control of of your personality, oneself. With self-discipline, maintain it. I just gave those lessons. So as to purify, how you do that? And realize your higher essence within, live right. Practice my right thinking philosophy, and that's how you purify the heart. Doing the right thing, living right. Simple, it ain't something special. So watch this. So now the daily worship and study of those divinities, what I keep telling you, is actually a study of your own constitution, your own psychological makeup, your psychic, and your own spiritual architecture, and the architect of the universe. You becoming one with your higher self. And this is why right thinking or Neterian religion has many gods and goddesses. It is a scientific approach that allows the person to perpetuate the divine, emulate it, practice it, master it, and that leading them in a elevated process by degrees, by levels, to finally discover the supreme being, aka God, thyself. So this is not degraded religion, but it is actually an advanced religion if practiced correctly and used right. That's right there, the philosophy. And if practiced right, that's what it'll get you to God, aka thyself. That's a lesson. Took a little long. Hope you enjoyed it. And in closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100, me, 100 miles a day. So I never let my right thinkers who passed away. I'll be right back for some more.